All right, man. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Value Podcast, where valuable people attract people of value. I'm Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. I focus on preparing, evaluating, and giving you the tools you need to maintain healthy relationships. That's right, healthy relationships. When you're watching this or you're listening, I'm giving you tools. Whether it's my guest or it's myself, there's tools being deposited so you can have healthy relationships. What's going on, beautiful people? I'm sorry I had to interrupt your value time, but people have been asking me, Jamel, how do I support the Value Podcast? I want to show some love. Well, you can go to vpapov.com. That's vpapov.com and grab yourself some value gear. And for those that have been watching and they say, man, I like this wisdom, I like the conversations that's taking place, how can I work with you one-on-one? You can go to jameldjackson.com. That's jameldjackson.com. Click the link, head to the website. Let's work together. I want to see you have the best, amazing, healthy relationships in your life. Back to the podcast. Yo.
My God.
I always say this, I just like to say I got a world changer.
Oh, man, I appreciate you.
You mean to sum it up, but I mean, you could briefly tell the people who you are, how you function, all the gifts.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it'll take a long time, but
Yeah, but before we start that, this is the greatest money mindset podcast interview you ever gonna witness. Watch to the end. I promise you, between Jamel and I, we're gonna change your whole entire life.
Mm-hmm. This is a, I want to say this. This is a currency relationship.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
And I know you're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So, my name is AshCash. The world knows me as AshCash. I'm a Harlem representative. I'm from St. Nicholas Projects, man. I'm from 129th Street and 8th Avenue, 246, apartment 1A. That's important because I'm a typical urban story. I am a product of a single parent home. My dad left before I was even born, came back at 2, left again. Had a rough path, you know what I mean? Kicked out of school 4 times. Did some crazy stuff. But now today I'm one of the top financial educators not even in the country. I used to say the country, but it's actually in the world. I am a 4-time best-selling author. I've written 11 books, sold over 80,000, close to 100,000 books at this point. I teach people how to change their mindset in order to manage money. I host the greatest money mindset show on the planet, Inside the Vault with AshCash. I have the AshCash show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I do a bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I think that, above it all, I am just a person that was counted out, that they told was never going to be amount to anything, was going to be dead or in jail by 25. And, what Kanye say? How the joke's on you, we still alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing. All praises due to the Most High God. So, I don't take, credit for it. I believe that as long as you have breath in your body, God has purpose for you. And I use that purpose to allow people to understand that their life is to be greatness on display, right? Like their life is you're supposed to prove that God is the greatest, and the only way you can prove that is being the greatest yourself, because we're made in the image and likeness of God, and that's what our goal is. And I do that every day with myself. So I am a demonstration that it doesn't matter what your circumstance is, where you come from, what your background is, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And then I also show other people how to do it within themselves as well.
Yeah. So listen, man. Whoo! I'm already I was charged up already.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
But I was meditating last night, and I was looking at, the accolades. I was looking at the press kit, looking at everything that was described, the story, and I kept thinking, like, man, what am I? Because I've watched you. I've seen you on the Vote. I've watched you at the conferences, and I'm like, what am I going to talk to Ash about? And then I began to do a passing and review on my own life, like, how did I get to this moment? Like yesterday I was here. Yesterday I was visiting here. I was at my house, but I was visiting here in my spirit, in my mind, like, okay, I'm gonna be sitting with him, but what are we gonna talk about? And I was thinking about how I got to the point that I'm at now, and it was because of the value of relationships, because I'm always talking about relationships. This podcast is centered around relationships. And the word came to me was arrival. You know, like arrival. Like we're here right now, but we were already here. You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy talk.
We were already here. Like this is not a happenstance. This is not a coincidence. I always tell people, what does God, confidence, and coincidence have in common? You could be confident God is not a coincidence. So this is not coincidental. Of course, we did the preliminary things, like I was telling Alyssa, like we did the preliminary things, setting up the dates, the times, the little politics you got to do behind the scenes. But outside of that, this was set in stone. This was set in motion. So what's taking place here right now, for those that are listening, for those that are watching, is a prolific moment. So when I say arrival, you briefly shared it, but I want to go more in detail of the how. How did AshCash arrive to this moment? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't just, of course you get it back in the streets and everything, but give me a little more details. How did that arrival look?
And I don't want. I mean, I'm not trying to put my host hat on, because I'm interviewing Jamel, but he interviewing me. But I don't want y'all to miss what he just said about arrival. Is I arrived because I saw it prior to arriving, right? And that's actually universal law. You cannot experience anything in life that you haven't seen yet. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, because a lot of us only see our neighborhoods, our circumstance, we have limited viewing, right? Because we might come from poverty or whatever, and we don't expand our minds. All we keep seeing is what we've seen. And so we keep replaying the same reruns over and over and over again, then asking ourselves why we keep seeing the same things. And so for me, I was fortunate enough to be raised by real street dudes, right? And when I say that, I don't glorify drugs, I don't glorify murder and death and guns and all that stuff, but there is a character that growing up in the 90s did for me, because growing up in Harlem, it was all about drug dealing. And so I've always saw superstars. The drug dealers in my neighborhood were superstars. They were getting money. And the other fortunate thing was I saw crime at a high level, right? And so I was able to see money at a high level early. I was able to see crime at a high level early. So I saw somebody die. Like I saw, like when shootouts happened, me and my friends, we ran to the shootouts. As an adult now, that was ridiculous, doesn't make no sense, but that's what we did. And so I knew what I didn't want, right? I was like, I'm cool, I don't want this street life. But still, I was taught the fabric, and so I just became a hustler early on. And so I wanted to get the money, but I didn't want to have the lifestyle of having to look over my shoulder, dead, jail. So at 8 years old, I'm packing bags. At 12 years old, I'm selling mixtapes and t-shirts on 125th Street. By I did the whole summer youth thing. By 17, I got a job working at a video store, rest in peace, Blockbuster Videos, right? And it was at that moment that my mind started to expand. I started to get access to different people, to different walks of life. You talk about relationships. So first of all, relationships is the biggest currency beyond money. And, I remember working at the video store, celebrities would come in with their drivers and get, videos, tapes and all that stuff. That's before Netflix. That's before. Yeah. And so I would, strike up conversations with celebrities, the drivers, most valuable people. If you find a driver who drives celebrities, they hear all the conversations. They know what's going on. I won't say his name. I say his name, but I won't say who he drove for. But fat shout to Ant. And I don't even know what Ant's doing. I was 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? But Ant drove one of the biggest celebrities, OG in the game. The celebrity never talked though. Every time he came in, be like, "Hey, Mr. Such and Such," didn't say nothing to nobody, right? He doesn't really say anything on TV. He does say stuff now, right? Give you a little hint. He'd say stuff now, but for a while, he was a big executive that really didn't say much, right? But Ant was the guy, like, yo, Ash, what's good today? And through that, you know, I would ask questions, and he would tell me about meetings and stuff like that. And so my mind was starting to be expanded by the conversations that I was having, by the documentaries I was watching, the movies and things of that nature. And at that point, I was like, oh, it got to be it got to be more.
Hold on one second. Before you continue, because I'm hearing stuff as you're talking, I want to make sure I put it in there.
Yeah.
We don't want to disregard the man at the door.
Yeah.
And so you're at this Blockbuster stage.
Yeah.
You arrived there.
Yeah.
But I see, as you continue, the mentality that you had though when you arrived there, because most people arrive at a certain point, but they don't even know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
Or they take where they arrived as, man, I'm here.
Yeah.
Man, this sucks right here. Man, why am I here? But your mindset is different. So go ahead.
Yeah, you know, and let me talk to that real quick because I am who I am today because of gratitude, period. Mm-hmm. Everything I do, like, it is an honor to be here with you, right?
Ditto, same here, man.
And what people do, what people don't realize is everything else is a bonus. Waking up is the I made it.
Yeah.
Everything else is a bonus. I woke up this morning, and the fact that I got in my car and came here on time. I mean, a little late, but you know what I'm saying?
Arrived.
I arrived, right? The fact that I got here, the fact that I got here safe, the fact that we sitting down, the fact that we talking, the fact that after this interview is done, it's going to reach millions of people and bless lives. Like, that is an honor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that a lot of times, you know, some people people have expectations. And because they have expectations, they don't look at everything as a miracle. This is a miracle, right? You had to go through what you had to go through for you to arrive at this moment. I had to go through what I had to go through to be at this moment. Alyssa, fast out there, people behind the scene. Alyssa had to go through what Alyssa had to go through. So it is a miracle that, like, we got 3 walking miracles in this room right now that's about to bless a miracle who's watching right now, right? And so I never had the attitude because when I was 15 years old, we didn't look at next year. And yo, we was trying to get past the summer. For real. The summer.
For real.
Yo, we didn't look at, nobody talk about no next year. What? Next year? Yeah. Hey, yo.
How about today?
How about we get past the summer? Yo, people don't even understand. September was the best in the hood. Yo, September was the best time because we got to excel. Oh, we made it. The knucklehead, everybody back in school. Yeah. Nobody outside.
Summers was hot in New York.
Summer was hot in New York.
Hotter than the heat. That's not the sun heat, but it was hot.
Yo, so if you got through the summer, if you got to September and you putting on first day of school clothes, you like, yes, I made it.
I arrived.
Until when? Until summer start again, right? And so it was day by day thing. So you know, to your talking about me arriving, having that attitude, I really believe that my attitude of gratitude was gotten me everything because nobody owe me nothing. You know what I'm saying? God don't owe me, to still have me here. And so while I'm here, I'm putting it all on the table. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, working at the Blockbusters and being appreciative because you got to think I'm 17 years old. All my friends, they move in packs. So, some of them are getting robbed. Some of them getting shot at. Some of them are getting locked up. So it's happening. You know what I'm saying? And so, I was just grateful to just be in that have that opportunity. And then in that gratitude, in that working, at the video store, opportunity came to become a banker. One of the assistant managers came in and said Chase was hiring for a teller. And I was like, yo, my mom was expanding by this time. So I'm like, yo, I could do that. I love money. I could be a teller. Mm-hmm. And so I, got my first job as a teller at 19 years old. And man, the rest is history, man. I was a banker. I'm a 15-year former banking executive. Okay. And so I did everything in banking from teller, personal banker, private banker. I was a VP, one of the youngest VPs of an international bank at 24 years old. I was a private banker managing money for people who had at least $250,000 in investable assets. My wealthiest client was worth $22 million. I've opened branches about 5 times. So I was a manager at different branches at least 5 times. I did a $8 million project from scratch. At 31, I became one of the youngest CEOs of a federally chartered bank. And so I was the CEO of a credit union at 31. And then, I just got to the space where I felt like I wasn't using everything I knew the right way. You know what I'm saying? In the words of the Honorable Sean Carter, there's much bigger issues in the world I know, but I first had to take care of the world I know. And so now look at this guy who come from the hood, who's now at the C-suite. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this 31-year-old dude is a CEO of a credit union. And then now I'm hearing stories about, young boys back on the block going crazy and not having no guidance. I'm like, man, they remember me. They know I was on the corner. So what if I could use my life to not only bless the people back home, but worldwide? Be like, yo, you don't even gotta, and I know the language, right? I know both language. I know the language on the block, and I also know the C-suite language. What if I merge the two and then, use my voice to bless others to know that they can be the best that they can be? And that's how I got here as a financial educator, is just using all of my experiences, my street smarts, my corporate America smarts, my entrepreneurship smarts, put them in a blender, and I am AshCash.
So at what point at these arrival points, because you're having these arrival points throughout your life, what was that? What was one of the challenging ones though? Like, because I hear you describing some of the challenges.
Yeah.
But like, I want to see a scar right now.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I think actually I read in your briefly in your biography when you had lost your virginity.
Yeah.
Now, was that intentional, or was that like?
That was just it's so crazy. And I was having this conversation.
Like, how did that impact you? Like,
I mean, it's crazy because it didn't, it, as weird as it sounds.
Because, I'm going to say this real quick, because some people that's listening or watching, sometimes we hear, when a woman loses it, it's like, oh man, but nobody never thinks about a guy. So it's like, oh, the guy's good, he lost it. That's a hooray.
Yeah.
We look at it like a reward, like, yeah, dude, you did it.
Yeah, you know the sad thing, right? So I'm married with 2 kids now. My daughter's 13, my son is 6, all right? I got kicked out of school in the 1st grade. I was 6 years old. I can't fathom my son now getting kicked out of school. There's no way. Like, there's nothing he could do to get him kicked out of school, but it happened to me. My daughter's 13 years old. I lost my virginity when I was 11. Okay. The girl was 12, and she was the aggressor. I feel like that wasn't necessarily. I mean, in hindsight, it's sad, right? Because in the hood, if you grew up in the project specifically, it's the Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think it's crack era. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Either parents are out working or they strung out on crack. Yep. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And so we was running around wild. Yeah. And it was actually it was a normal thing, to the point where I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I just knew, I was hanging out with the friends and all that stuff. My friends, they knew what's up. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what's up. I'm 11 years old. I play Nintendo. Like, I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? And it was, it was one of those things where homegirl, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was in my house. Homegirl came to the house with nothing on, and was like looking at me like yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And I think that was, the first, and then there were a lot. Let's just say that, because that was the norm. Like you running around in the streets, that was the norm. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pebble Beach was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, did that incident like have your mindset like this is normal?
Because I mean, prior to that, like you were just a kid, like you say, I'm playing Nintendo, I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
And now this incident occurs, and it's like, did that change your perspective, like outlook on?
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no. I think that my outlook on life didn't change until I got older and I reflected. While I was in it, everything was normal, right? And you know, fresh out the Wallow, I was watching something where Wallow said that when he went to prison, he had to become insane, right? He had to become crazy when he got to prison, because if he didn't become crazy or shut down to stuff that would drive you crazy, he would go crazy. Like, you have to create a normalcy around chaos, if you will.
You know, that's crazy, man. That because I grew up in Hempstead, Long Island, in the street, you know, on the Heights in a block called Terrace. That was the mentality. Like, even if you weren't crazy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I wasn't the craziest person out there. There was some dudes that was wilding.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you had to adapt. And so sometimes even if you wanted to be a positive person, it was like, not right now.
No, you couldn't.
You could become a positive person when you leave here.
Facts.
And then when you come back, switch gears. Yeah. And then going through that mental battle back and forth, you end up just becoming a part of the environment.
You have to, though. It's a survival tactic, though. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is, and that's why, like 100% honest. As I was in it, I was in it. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to think if this is right or wrong. This is just what it is. It's just what it is.
But that's crazy, like a mentality for 11-year-old and let alone teenagers. As we reflect back. And then you get to the point where you are right now. The next question that I wanted to tag with that, because we talked about the what and the how. Why do you believe AshCash is where he is right now?
I think so AshCash is here where he is because he never gave up. You know, I've always known that I wanted to be successful, right? Like there was this thing in me. I didn't know what it looked like though, because I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what level of success I wanted, but I always knew I was going to be successful. And I think that in knowing that I wanted to be successful, I just knew like, nah, this can't be life. Like, this can't be life. There's got to be more. You know what I'm saying? And so what I kept doing was, all right, stumble after stumble after stumble, I kept getting back up, right? Because you asked earlier about roadblocks, but there's been many, right? Like, I mean, lost my virginity. I don't really look at that as that. You know what I'm saying? Almost getting caught, almost catching a felony, almost getting caught with a gun. You know what I'm saying? Almost getting killed by a train. You know what I'm saying? I used to tag up.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm on, you know what I'm saying? Train almost hitting me. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been many like roadblocks. And I want to say that those difficulties still happen to this day though, right? And so even after getting out the hood, and then, you know, having a career as a banker, being a young banker, and everybody else. So because I knew what I was doing, I was quick, I was fast, I was a great salesperson. I started managing people who were older than me. Now they looking like, I'm not listening to this kid, right? So now I had to this ageism adversity where I'm the youngest, but I get busy, my numbers speak, but you judging my position based on so now I got to battle that. You know what I'm saying? Then I feel like, oh, you're not paying me enough. So now I got to battle, all right, I'm going to go out and do my own thing. Now I do my own thing. Now I'm not making enough money. Now I almost lose my house. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go back to work. And then I get the entrepreneurship bug, and now I'm making a lot of money. Now, people, you know, I haven't arrived yet financially. People counting my pockets. Then I arrived financially. Now everybody know me. Now I you know what I'm saying? I can't go through the airport. You know what I'm saying? So there's always struggles. You know what I'm saying? And I think that within those struggles, you just don't give up though. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I am who I am today, is because I embraced everything. I do not believe in negative or positive. In the words of the Honorable Curtis Jackson, joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times We look at contrast as a negative thing. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, oh my God, I wish this didn't happen. But you got to know that the good, the bad, and the ugly are all working for your greater good. You have to go through what you go through to get where you need to go. I give this example all the time of Waze, the app Waze. Waze is a app that if you put it in your car and you want to go to a destination, it's going to tell you the fastest route to get to your destination. Sometimes we're so hard-headed that if we put an address in, we're going to say, okay, this is how I want to get there, but why is it not taking me this way? I know this is the way to go, so let me just go this way. And so we don't listen. And then we don't listen, we get there late, we get stuck in traffic. But what we didn't realize was that Waze saw it, knows it all, sees it all. And so Waze is telling you, don't go to I-20 because I-20 packed right now. It's 5 p.m.? Hey, yo, I'm gonna help you avoid I-75 because you're gonna sit there forever. I'm gonna take you through these roadblocks, through these back blocks, and you're gonna be like, nah, I'm not going through these back blocks. But the back block is actually the easiest way. So we look at negativity as the back blocks. Like, oh, this is negative. I want to avoid negativity, so let me go this way. No, that negative way is going to get you to your destination faster. And so we have to accept everything, like everything that comes into your life, you have to accept it. So you know what I'm saying? So we accept negativity as this thing to avoid when it's actually something to embrace. And so, my perspective was guiding me here. Even if God saw it fit to take everything away, like, my everything, money, fame, influence, impact, I know I'm good. As long as I have breath in my body, I'm good.
See, that's good because while you talking, like the inside of me, it's so many words coming to my mind, like when we arrive, how we arrive, what we do to arrive. And sometimes, like you gave the Waze example, I'm thinking of like God's ways. He's like, look, I want you to go this route. And we like, nah, I don't want to do that, man. It's an easier way. Why I got to go through the forest? Right. We can go right around the forest. I can skip all of that. I need you to go through here. Right. There's a process that's going to rebuild your perspective. There's this story, and I want to see what your thoughts is about this as we wind it down, about arrival. Yeah. I mean, in the Bible, there's a story where Jesus is arriving in Jerusalem. And they out there waving their hands. They going crazy. They putting down palm leaves and everything. But what's amazing is after the arrival, the same people that was praising him, the same people that was lifting up their hands for joy, now they want to crucify him. Yeah. They singing Hosanna one day, and then the next day they want to crucify him. Yeah. So at this stage of where you are right now, do you find people celebrating your arrival, but at the same time, some people like, I can't stand this dude.
Yeah.
Because everybody's not going to be excited when you come back.
Yeah.
With the information. Like, listen, man, I was here. I made it out. AshCash is back. Yo! And then you got something after that. It's like, all right, hang on.
Yeah, I think that, and I love that you use that example in that story because we're all going to go through that. That's part of the process. And what we have to realize is that the people who are wanting to hang you or crucify you, it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot see what you're not. And so what happens is if you are an optimistic person and someone else is not optimistic, if somebody doesn't have hope and you go in there trying to be hope, and so of course they're going to root for you and root for you and root for you. But once you make it, now guess what? That puts the responsibility on them to change, right? Like they can't be who they are now because you've proven that you could get to that next level, that they could get to that next level. So what they have to do to stay in their same position, they have to make excuses about how you got there. They're going to have to tear you down. They're going to have to break you down. They're going to have to do all this stuff. But I don't see any hate though, you know. To answer that question, and I love there's two examples I'll give. You know, TD Jakes talks about the giraffe and the turtle. The giraffe is on such another level that they don't even know what the turtle was doing. The only way the giraffe could even know what the turtle is doing, he got to drop his head. But he ain't got no business down there. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, relates to, I think Ray Lewis said this. He was like, the eagle don't fly at the same level as the pigeon. You know what I'm saying? So if you see a flock of pigeons, if the eagle see a flock of pigeons, his altitude too low. And so I say that to say that I'm sure there are people who have negative things to say about me. I'm sure there are people who, whatever. They could say whatever. But the truth of the matter is that I know what I give every single day. I actually give more than I receive. I'm a big giver. I've impacted lives that I've impacted people that I would never meet, that I'll never have a conversation with. And I know that, as long as I have, breath in my body, I'm going to still, be an impact to the world. I report to God only. Like there's nothing nobody can say to me that's going to shake me. If God gave me the direction and I'm being obedient to what God is telling me, that's the only thing that matters. And so yes. And I don't mean no disrespect by this, but sometimes what happens is when we try to save people from like an egotistical perspective, like edging God out is what ego stands for, is when we try to save people, that's how we meet our demise, right? And so, in the Jesus example, once you are shown that you are the display, sometimes you're hurting yourself by staying in that same environment. You know what I'm saying? Because, and again, I don't mean no disrespect by it, because when you think about, Jesus died at 33, right? Nipsey Hussle died at 33. Nipsey Hussle was somebody who had the light, was able to get out, had the opportunity to get out the hood, but said, no, I'm going to stay here and be the example, but got crucified in the same neighborhood that he was trying to save, right? And God knows best, though, so I'm not saying in any of these cases it was a mistake, but I believe that God uses people as examples, right? And when we look at the example of Jesus, when we look at the example of Nipsey Hussle, we look at the example of, their lives, if you will, were sacrifices for us to know, all right, which way to move, right? Because we see this young Dolph, rest in peace. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Drakeo, rest in peace. Like we're seeing all these people who are dying in their neighborhoods, like where they're from.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make, how are you dying where you're from? Yeah. But the truth of the matter, if you read the Bible, you read the Quran, that's what happens.
You know what, Ash? This is. I think this is a nice sobering spot right here, because for those that are listening and watching, and if you're listening and watching this right now, there's tools being dropped for your relationship health. You arrive where you are. I arrive where I am. You went through the chaos. You went through the mud. You went through the trenches. You went through the ups and downs, the hurdles. But at some point, of course, in the stories we talking about, these great patriarchs, eventually all of us will arrive at a date that stamps it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever you believe on, maybe you continue your journey in life, but I want you to talk to somebody that's watching or listening, and they may be at a point where they arrived. Like, you know what, this is where I'm at in life. And maybe it's great, or maybe it's not that great. Yeah. And they like, yo, I'm giving up. Like, I'm done. Like, I hear him talking about arriving, but man, I've been in this same position for 5 years. Yeah. Everything's going on, and not realizing that eventually we're going to arrive at a point where there is no, you done. Yeah. Yeah. What do you say to that person that's like, I feel you, Cash. You at where you at right now, but you don't understand my story. Yeah. It's different from yours. It's worse than yours.
Yeah. I think first and foremost, I would tell that person that if they even have the ability to hear what I'm saying, if they even have the ability to see it, to hear it, to understand it, that they're at an advantage, right? That they are blessed beyond what they're giving themselves credit for, right? You know, you are in the best position. Even if your situation is worse than my situation, you actually have an obligation to keep going, right? Because you might hear my story and be like, yo, you ain't going through nothing, right? So do me a favor with what you went through. Imagine once you get out of it, how many other people you could bless, how many other people you could touch. Because the fact of the matter is that because you still have breath in your body, that you still have life, that you have purpose.
People are waiting for you to arrive.
Right. In fact, the fact that you haven't arrived yet is why there's still people struggling in what they're struggling. Because you become their salvation. Like there's somebody right now that's suffering and going through the things that I might have went through, that I'm telling them now it's okay. Hey, yo, I'll give you a quick story. So I lost my mom in March of 2019. Recently, I posted this post. I said, yo, how did I impact your life? Yo, somebody was like, yo, bro, I lost my mom in October of 2020. And if you didn't share your story about how you got through it, being in a dark place, I was in a dark place. Worst 2019, worst year of my life. Contemplated suicide, like that type of worst year of my life. And the guy was like, yo, if you didn't tell me that story, if you didn't talk about that, yo, like you helped me get past that. And so my worst year of my life has become the biggest blessing to the world because of my transparency, because I'm able to talk about it, because everybody's able to look at me on in these big stages, and they're like, oh my God, this is AshCash, but don't realize that 2 years ago, right? Like after 2 years ago, out of all the things I went through, 2019 it was the worst year of my life.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm glad you arrived and didn't look at that situation or any of your situations, because some people think they gotta arrive perfect.
Yeah.
I gotta arrive with it all together.
Yeah.
You showed up. You arrived. Like, even though I lost my mom, going through this depression, contemplating suicide, I'm going to arrive.
Let me tell you how crazy it was. I lost my and that's how God works. That's why I look at negative positive. I lost my mom in March of 2019. April 2019, I'm on the biggest stage of my life. TD Jakes, like I met and hugged TD Jakes, spoke on the same stage as TD Jakes, Dennis Kimbrough, like biggest stage in my life, Contrast, joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain.
Yeah.
The word, like I don't know, I can't fathom what's worse than losing your mother. Yeah. Single mother at that. Like, my mother was everything.
Yeah.
I can't fathom what's worse than that. And then to have the biggest opportunity of my life a month after, and nobody could tell. It's the contrast. And so when you go through, whoever's listening right now, whatever you're going through, I promise you, it is for your benefit. I'm not gonna coddle you. I ain't gonna. No, you got to get through it. You're strong enough. You got this. You are 100%. You have not lost. You're undefeated. Every negative thing you've ever been through in your life, you overcame, because you got breath in your body right now at this moment. You never lost. Never. You only lose when you give up. You only lose when you're dead. And so whatever you're going through right now, at this moment, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Right? I'm happy for you.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you. You are a blessing. You don't even understand how blessed you are. Right? The caterpillar, when a caterpillar is in the chrysalis, the caterpillar is going through the worst pain in its life.
Talk the talk.
The caterpillar feel like it's about to die. Hey, the caterpillar feel like it's about to die.
But listen, he's about to die. I want you to continue, but he understands, and God understands, there's an arrival date.
There's a arrival date. And so while the caterpillar is breaking through the chrysalis, guess what's happening though? If Jamel saw the caterpillar on the floor and said, yo, I want to help the caterpillar out because it looked like it's struggling, let me break through the chrysalis for it, guess what? It's going to die right there. You know why? Because the wings are not strong enough.
Not strong enough.
And so that pressure that the caterpillar is taking to break out of the chrysalis is actually strengthening the wings. And once it breaks out, guess what? It is a beautiful butterfly.
Beauty for ashes.
And so without that struggle, or if somebody came and helped with that struggle, prior to that struggle, before the wings are strong enough, it wouldn't even blossom to the place that it needs to blossom.
People could actually delay your arrival date by helping you.
Too soon.
That's a lot in that right there. People can delay your arrival date by helping you.
Hey, yo, fast shout to everybody.
Not to say that
who said
people
no.
don't need help, but sometimes we can enable a person's arrival date or delay it.
Facts.
Oh, man.
Hey, yo, fast shout to everybody who ever told you no. They helped you. That's what I'm trying to say. It's on perspective. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, yo, you know how many people I was asking for help and they was like, no, I'm not too busy. Who are you? You too small. All right. Oh, appreciate you. Heard you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Because it's those people that made me go harder. It's those people who say, oh, I need you anyway. It's those people that I surpass now that I'm like, how can I help you? You know what I'm saying? And so it is a blessing. And so again, yo, like you gotta understand. Think about a Hilton or somebody who was born rich. They don't appreciate life the way somebody who had to get it out the mud appreciates it, because everything was technically given to them, right? If you look at even statistics, I'm not making this up. If you talk to wealthy kids, they feel they're the ones on the most pills. They're the one that commit the most suicide. They're the ones that are mostly depressed, right? Because their life is attached to something that they feel was given to them, right? People always attaching them to their family, to their money. But the person who got it from the mud, like there's this badge of honor. There's this natural, like I believe it. I would just say that those who go through adversity are God's chosen ones, right? Because God is saying, prove me. You are made in the image and likeness of God, which means if God is the greatest, then you are the greatest. And so no matter where you are in the spectrum, no matter what your position is, there's always greater. And so the more you can prove that there's greater from where you are, I don't care if you make $1,000, $100,000, or $100 million, there's always greater. And so in that knowing that you're made in the image and likeness of God, you know what I'm saying? That's a selfie. Yo, how do you keep going, higher and higher? And so I think it's a blessing for those who are going through what they're going through. Keep going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that my struggles ain't over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a part of that. People think that the opposite of, success is ease. It's not true. Like, there's ups and downs, and that's just part of life. Life is about balance, right? Don't get so high that the fall will kill you, and don't stay so low that your dark times will suffocate you. Just stay balanced.
Man, I want to say something else, but I don't want to spark the fire again with us. The fire. You know what? Let me just do this. I got 3 words that I always ask my guests when they come on. I give them a word, and I like for them to tell me what that word means to them. So the first word that I have for you is calculate.
Calculate. Calculation is about risk to me, right? It means that nothing you do is going to be for sure, but you could make certain calculations to mitigate your risk. And so what happens is that people, you said this earlier, people are looking for perfection. Like, they try to calculate the perfect answer where there isn't a perfect answer. But what you need to calculate is, all right, if I go here, what could potentially happen? If I go here, what could potentially happen? Or if I go here, potentially happen? None of them are for sure, but this looked like the best route. So for my calculated decision says to go this route. And so I want people to calculate their road. Know that there's going to be bumps in that road, but calculate, which is the best direction to go. And once you make the decision to go in that direction, stick to that direction and make it out on the other side.
Okay. Next word, assurance. Not insurance, but assurance.
Yeah, so assurance to me just means like what are the things that you are sure about, right? And I think the only assurance that you have in this time is today. You don't have tomorrow. Yesterday is dead and gone. So even if you got all the money, all the relationships, it don't matter. You could be whatever ethnicity you are, whatever religion you are. It really doesn't matter. There's nothing you could do to bring back yesterday. And then even tomorrow is false. There is nobody living on this earth that could ever tell you that they live tomorrow. Because even when tomorrow comes, guess what day it is still? Today. And so the only thing that you have for sure, the assurance that you have is today. And as long as you have breath in your body, you should max out every single day. Stop worrying about tomorrow. So many people worry about tomorrow as if they are sure that tomorrow will come. But you here right now. I'm here right now. Alyssa here right now. And so what can I do right now to assure that I am living my best life right now, not tomorrow?
Yeah. I say this a lot to people. I say, until you accept the reality of death, you'll never live in the fullness of life.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to get too much into that, but the last word, exit.
Exit, man. Exit for me means know when to give up. In our society, we are told, right, like giving up is a negative thing, but never give up on the vision, never give up on the purpose, never give up on the things that have been promised to you. But there's times that you're gonna have to make some exits. You're gonna have to exit some people. You're going to have to exit some circumstances. You're going to have to exit some environments. You're going to have to exit some thought processes, right? Because the thought process that it took for you to survive is not the same thought process that's going to take you to thrive, right? Like the guy who grew up in St. Nicholas Projects, that guy had a certain mentality.
Yeah.
And it took his mentality to get him out. But once he got in corporate America, he had to change that mentality. Right? He had to exit out of St. Nicholas Projects and walk into corporate America. And so now he's in corporate America and he's using the mentality that he had to use in corporate America to excel there and get to the C-suite. But once he made a decision to leave the C-suite and become an entrepreneur, there's a new mentality, right? I had to exit corporate America. And then I became an entrepreneur and then I made 6 figures. Then I make multiple 6 figures. That same mentality that made 6 figures is not the same mentality as making 7 figures. There's a whole nother mentality that you have to get to the 7-figure level. Then when you get to 7 figures, you want to get to 100 million, there's another mentality you have to have.
You're arriving at different stages.
And in every arrival, there is an exit.
Say that again.
In every arrival, there is an exit.
There is an exit.
You have to, right? In order to arrive, right? Right now, I don't care if you're in first class. I don't care if you're in coach. I don't care if you're in comfort plus. When you get to your destination, you're going to have to get off that plane and do what? You're going to have to exit to get to your arrival. And so while you are arriving, there also is an exit that has to happen.
Man, we're not done. We are just pausing. We will continue another time. I got the great, phenomenal, world changer, AshCash. We just went in, bro.
Yo, I don't even understand it. I don't even think they understand the level of bars that we was dropping on this joint, though. They're going to have to rewind this.
When I tell people, man.
Please rewind this. GOD's behind this.
This is value of relationships.
Yeah.
The things that were spoke about right now, if people are listening and intently watching, man, you getting tools to help you maintain and have healthy relationships. Yeah. When I was talking about the arrival and that came up, I was thinking about that because I was like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And it was because I valued relationships.
Yeah.
Not just friendships, family, business, but even intimate relationships.
Facts, yeah.
So, where can the people find you at?
Hey, make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at IamAshCash. Tap in, tune in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate you, man.
Yo, definitely go check out The Vault, man. Inside The Vault.
Hey, Inside The Vault, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Hey, when I tell you, Inside The Vault has been a blessing, bro. Like, to be able to interview such powerful people, multimillionaires. So inside the vault is really mindset, right? So when you think about, where people keep their most valuable assets is the mind, but in the bank, it's inside the vault. And so, double entendre. When you go inside the vault, we shoot the show literally inside a vault. But then we also are literally getting into people's mindset. We had some bangers, and we're going to continue to, make the magic happen.
Yeah, y'all going to see Jamel Jackson inside the vault.
Jamel Jackson inside the vault. Yo, I'm going to say that though, man. It's such a blessing for me to have that platform. And I hear that a lot, Like I hear a lot of like entrepreneurs and people who, are looking forward to being, on that, on the platform. And I love it, Because I feel like, the Oprah, like, if you will, And the great thing about it, is that like I'm not, like I'm not a hater, like I'm not like a guy that's like, man, you ain't never gonna be on inside. What I'm saying? I'm looking forward to having you inside the vault. And looking forward to having conversations. Like everybody who's ever affirmed that, it is my honor to be able to help to be part of that manifestation. But just like the caterpillar with the butterfly, though, I ain't cutting through the chrysalis to get you there. And what I mean by that is that I have an obligation to my people. And this is not you in particular, just in general, is that I have an obligation to my people to keep giving them the level of guests that I believe will stimulate the mind in that way. And so I believe everything is about energetic alignment. Jamel and I are here because we were energetically aligned. There's like, I get people want to interview me all the time. So I get interview requests all the time. And, it's impossible for me to say no, to say yes to everything, but there was energetic alignment, and that's the one thing, I know we going, but it's the one thing I want to tell y'all. There's a lot of y'all staying home and y'all not going out and y'all not tapping in. Y'all not being around people. You're not connecting the dots. This interview happened because he showed up. He arrived. He arrived somewhere. We connected. We took a picture together. Like he was, and then, so here's the deal. We took a picture together. He then says, yo, one day I want to have you on my platform. I'm like, cool, let's set it up. Now, I'm seeing, he not saying, yo, Ash, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. He didn't say that. He said, yo, I got a podcast. Okay, great. So now I'm watching his podcast. I'm not going on just any podcast. I'm watching his stuff. I'm like, oh, that's dope. I'm listening. Oh, this content is good. Oh, there's an alignment with, I can see what value I add. I don't need fame. I don't need exposure. I'm not doing this for exposure. I'm saying, yo, does this man have a platform? Can I add value? I only do win-win, right? I don't do no favors. So understand that. I'm not doing nobody no favors because somebody loses when you do favors, right? When you do favors, I don't feel like doing it, but you know what? I'm gonna do Jamel's part. I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
I lost because I just gave up time. I'm not gonna get nothing out of it, and then he gets an interview. But if he has a platform and I see that his platform is blessing people, and I'm like, yo, I want to bless people, and I love the way he's using his platform to send a message out. Now, all right, there's alignment here. He wins by having the guest that he wanted. I win by being able to touch the people like I want. Win-win. We all win.
Yeah.
And then because he showed up, right? Because you showed up, because you were putting the podcast out, and you were around people, and you you're in the spaces, right? You were able to meet me. I feel like people don't get that, like relationships, who you are, your energy. This man, you know what I'm saying? Like this man energy was dope when we met. So it wasn't like, he had good energy. So I just wanted to say that.
Nah. I want to say something too, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Listen, man. The Value Podcast, where valuable people attract people of value. We over it.
Yo, that's what it is, though. My fault. I'm taking over. But look, that's what it is. Yo, the Value Podcast, where valuable people attract
people of value. We out of here, man.